Right, hello and welcome back. God, that was an awful introduction. Bit of a technical fault here. I've been having technical faults for a while now with this, you know, live streaming software. I don't know why I keep having these same problems, but hello and welcome to this morning's live stream. We are going to talk about this game against Cardiff, which I don't really want to do, but I said I'd do it. So here we are. I'm going to answer all your questions in the chat. We'll talk about anything that pops up in the chat as well, any football topics related. We'll talk about the league itself, the results that happened across the weekend, Championship, League 2, Premier League, whatever you fancy. And yeah, we'll just have a lovely discussion for this next 60 minutes. Do apologise that I am late due to these technical faults. I need to just figure out what's going on because it's taking me more than 10 minutes to sort out and I don't know why. But anyway, we're here now and let's get cracking with what you guys have put in the chat. So Philip, you started off by saying we got lucky against Wimbledon and Wigan. Could have easily have been 4 points from 5. Things need to be addressed because there are problems. Having said that, we should have scored yesterday. You followed that comment up by saying McGuinness diving into a tackle also gifted the goal, as bad as Walsh was. Basics and concentration again. Yeah, poor, very poor goal to concede. I still think Walsh could have just done better. I think he could easily just get rid of the ball. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to give the ball. I think it's to Clark, who's to the right of him. He's trying to do like a 1-2 with him. Dangerous position to do it, right outside, your box. And then McGuinness, really, really awful defending. He got sat down. You shouldn't be diving in like that. I'm sorry, that is something you shouldn't be doing. I know he's young still, he's still got a lot to learn, but awful defending, and he's not really been great since coming back into the starting 11, I have to be honest. Brian, you've commented saying, okay, we lost against Cardiff, but we will get better. All of us fans need to be patient, and our performance was fantastic and lots of shots at goal, but just couldn't score. I'll give it 10 or 11 games. You know what? What I'll do is I'll tell you guys what I put on social media, actually. So this is what I put up this morning because I think there's a lot of lacking context, actually. So what did I put this morning? So if you don't follow me on social media, recommend you do. This is on X, also known as Twitter. So I started off by saying, out of interest, I had a look at potential manager replacements. No one on the list really stands out to me. I can't see another club letting a manager go this early in the season, and I don't trust the board to get the decision right. I followed this up by saying there's clearly a good manager there in Matt Bloomfield. You don't go from being top goal scorers in League One with a Wickham side to be struggling with us overnight in terms of scoring goals. Matt doesn't help himself at times though. He does make a lot of in-game decisions incorrectly, but signing players that needed time to get up to match speed was always going to give us an inconsistent start. And I'm talking about the likes of Cohen Bramwell, Kadir, as he's now known as, for example, players that are not clearly up to match sharpness. He's still going to have the same problem if he changes the formation, which I just don't think people can get that in their brains, that we're going to have the same issue. He's still going to have the same problem if he changes the formation. I will keep banging that drum until people realise certain players need to be available in order to play a back four effectively. It's the same in order to play a back five. It's the same in order to play a back four. I am still 100% convinced at this moment when doing this live stream that if we was to play a back four tomorrow, we are going to get the exact same problems. Players not natural, playing in a position they are not too familiar with, not doing what's being asked them to do effectively. I still think we're going to get the exact same problems. And then I finished the tweet off by saying, Cardiff did not outplay us yesterday. They didn't outplay us yesterday. Yes, they played fantastic football at times and controlled the game, but we should have been ahead before their chance in the second half, which is true. How many chances do we need to score a goal? It's a mentality and confidence issue with these group of players. When we conceded, they lost belief, and that's how I ended. And I've had a couple of people, I've had one person respond to my tweet from someone called Dan, And Dan also agrees with me. He went 100% agree. We didn't lose the game because of formation yesterday. We lost because Walsh made a terrible mistake at one end and we couldn't finish at the other, which I believe is true. I then respond back to him by saying maybe playing a back four for one game and seeing the current issues still show up might be the wake-up call some people need. Any player can fill a position, but that doesn't mean they are natural at it or great at it. Dan then also follows back that comment by saying people were moaning at not playing a back four yesterday, but we currently only have one fullback and it's Bramall, who's not fully fit. We also had one winger in Ali, as Kadoa wasn't fit enough to start. We have loads of centre backs, loads of centre mids and strikers. That's why we're playing a 3-5-2. Dan is pretty much spot on. That's exactly why we're playing a 3-5-2. But people don't understand that. We've got so many centre halves, we've got so many centre mids, and we've got so many attackers. Well, when I say attackers, so many strikers. That is why we're playing the way we are currently playing at the moment. And then I then respond back saying, exactly, I love us to change formation, but it's not going to happen when we don't have the right players available. And if anyone's been following me since, since Edwards, the last month of Rob Edwards, I have been constantly banging that drum of let's change formation, let's change formation, let's change formation. But right now, I'm not doing that because we do not have certain players available. We don't have the capabilities to change to a back four because we don't have certain players available. We're going to get the same problems. That's why I keep arguing with people and keep saying to people, look guys, nothing's going to change because we're still playing the same things are going to happen. It's basically what I'm saying. But yeah, I thought I include that in the live stream because I've seen people want Matt Bloomfield gone. Okay, who do we bring in then? Because there isn't exactly, good choices out there. Mick, you've put morning. If we keep making these sort of chances, we'll start getting goals. Bearing in mind, in the previous games, we had hardly any shots, let alone on target. Yeah, I felt it was our best attacking performance of the season in terms of how many, chances we did create. Not clinical when it mattered the most. You also followed by that message by saying Walsh was terrible yesterday. How he stayed on as long as he did was baffling. Yeah, I found it absolutely mental. Yeah, I couldn't get my head around, when a player's playing poor as he did, why did he not come off? He needed to come off a lot sooner. Martin, you put looking for potential manager replacements, Lewis. It's ridiculous. Well, yeah, I thought I'd have a look online just to see what people want, just to see what's even out there. And there ain't anything good out there. Not right now. It's the wrong time in the season as well. If you start talking more October, November time, then you start seeing a lot of managers potentially being available. But at that point, you like to think things will change on the pitch and certain players will be available for selection. Fingers crossed. But we do need to do business. And this is something which I'm going to hopefully start planning. So next week, as we've got a week until 6 days until our next game, when we play against Burton away, I am going to make a Luton video. It's either going to be two. I'm going to do either 2 or 1 Luton video. I haven't really decided. One will be about my thoughts on the season so far, and the other will be what do we need to do in the transfer market. Because right now, if you was to ask me what player do we need straight away, I'm telling you we need a left back. Get a left back in. Get a natural left back in. Get a winger in. If you get those 2 players, at least, one you can change to a back. You can change the formation straight away. If you can get a winger and a left back in, you can change the formation. Walters, I believe, is coming back very, very soon, so he can go right back. So if you get that left back in, because Bramwell's not 100% yet, or I don't even know when he's going to be 100% yet, and you get a winger in, straight away you can go to a back four. But the issue which we've got is we've got a squad of 30 players, so we need players to leave. But at the moment, they haven't gone yet. It's an absolute massive week in terms of how we act in the transfer market, and it will determine where we're going to finish this year. If we don't bring in certain players in before the window deadline is over, we are going to have an average season. We'll stay up. We will stay up. There's no doubt about we will stay up. We've got enough in our squad to stay up. That's quite clear. But playoffs and promotion, not a chance. Not right now. We are miles away from it. I'm not that deluded to think that we're going to do it. No. We've got massive amount of improvement to do. So that's how I view that scenario. Jelly Belly 27, you put, morning all, just saw a slow-mo of the goal. Of course Walsh was at fault for giving the ball away again, but the defending after was awful. Sat back and let Willock stroll through. Shocking. Yeah, it was awful defending. It was an awful goal to concede all round. You also followed that comment up by saying mid-table and possibly scrape into the playoffs. My expectations are low based on what I've seen after the 5 games. Yeah, things need to improve. The first 5 games have been dreadful. Danny, you've put, still thinking we will get promotion or playoffs? Nope, not right now. We've too much to do. We need to improve. When we start acting like a team that can do it, then happy days. Martin, you've put, let's all see what we are like after the transfer window. Hopefully a lot better. Mick, you've put, it could be worse. We could be QPR fans. Definitely a bad day at the office for them. 7-1 against Coventry away from home. They've got such a great attack. Maybe they've just gone too attack heavy. I don't know why they lost 7-1. I have seen some of the highlights, poor goals to concede. But yeah, 7-1, mental. G1K2, you commented saying it wasn't a bad performance yesterday, improved in a number of ways, came up against a tough rival at the wrong time, hoping we will be more clinical in our attack in the next couple of games. Fingers crossed we are going to be a lot more clinical. We need to be a lot more clinical than that. It's obvious the recruitment has not been good enough. Birmingham spent 20 odd million and walked League One. Luton had this money, but we still scraped around looking for loans and journeymen. Birmingham spent 20 odd million because they've got the money to do so. We don't have that sort of money to do it. We're not going to spend 20 million pounds. And I think people are they need certain medication if you honestly thought we were going to spend 20 million in League One. We are not going to do that. We're just not going to do that. Luton have spent the money looking for loans and journeymen. Well, Luton have been massively criticised in the past for not getting loan players. We then go and do it, yet people moan about it. And then we sign journeyman players. Well, we've signed experience, leadership, which we needed. We needed someone like Saville, who I thought was one of the better players yesterday against Cardiff. And we signed Naki Wells up top, who provides experience, who should have actually scored yesterday. If he actually scored that chance in the first half, the game would be totally different. And then we signed Cal Naismith. If everyone was asked the question last season in the Championship, do you want Cal Naismith to return back? I guarantee you more than 80% of Luton fans would have said yes. So the journeyman players which we brought to the football club, fans made sense to sign. And also fans wanted one of them. So I don't think Luton has gone about it the incorrect way in terms of those loans and journeyman players. I think the fact is should have brought in more players. This is the issue. We should have brought in more players before the season started, and we wouldn't have had this inconsistent start. We should have also signed players that were ready to hit the ground running straight away, not players that needed a couple of weeks to build up their match sharpness. That was also another issue. So those are 2 separate issues there. 1, not signing players before the season started quicker, and 2, not signing players that are not ready to hit the ground running. Those are your issues. So I shouldn't be talking to you right now saying we need a couple more players. That's my point I'm trying to make is, should never be talking about, we're 5 games into a season, me actually going, we need 2 to 3 players in order to have a great year. I shouldn't be even saying that sentence, but I am. So it's not great. And I do think the recruitment team should have done better in certain aspects. But in terms of the players we've brought in, I don't think they're terrible signings. I disagree. Apart from Cameron Bramall, I've been happy with the other players we've brought to the football club. If Bloomfield is going to get stick with the wing back formation, then we desperately need more energy in the midfield. Fane or Nelson to start versus Burton, please. I think something needs to be done in the midfield. I've been banging that drum about the midfield, how we're just too slow at moving the ball. I think Nelson, deserves a start. I would like to see Nelson actually from minute one, actually, alongside a Saville. Just see what he can do, Nelson. I think he provides energy. Or you put Clark alongside Saville and then you have someone different in front of those two. We need to try that out, because I've got a feeling it's going to be Saville and Baptiste against Burton, which I don't think solves the problem. Tyler from TV Boys TV has commented saying the fact Walsh wasn't off at half time was criminal. I definitely think he should have came off a lot sooner than he did. Lee, you commented saying it hasn't been an inconsistent start. It's been consistently been poor. Well, it has been an inconsistent start because we've won games, so I can't say it's been consistently been poor when we've been winning games. That don't really make sense in my eyes. We haven't got the right players to change the formation as well as this formation. We haven't. We need players in to actually play them in positions. Yeah, and that's down to the recruitment team. And also the club for deciding to get to this position. This is the problem. So we needed players in. We needed more bodies in to play the way we wanted to play. Like the question mark, I said this for weeks now, saying that we needed the left back. And people kept saying to me, no, we've got the left backs. No, we don't have the left backs. I said it when Alfie was here, we needed a left back. And people just wouldn't. I think people just kept dismissing it and saying, no, we need a striker. We need a striker. We need a striker when we've already got like 6 strikers at the football club. No, we needed a left back because we only had 1 left back. For me, when I look at how many players you need in your squad, you need 2 players in every position. So if you're going to play with a back 5 with 3 centre-halves, you need 6 centre-backs. So 2 in every position in the back 3. You then need 2 left wing backs. You need 2 right wing backs. You need 2 goalkeepers. If you play with 4 midfielders, you need 8 midfielders. If you play with 1 striker, you need at least 2 strikers. If that all makes sense, you need 2 players in every position. If you get 2 players in every position, that's a squad of 22 players. Your then remaining squad should be filled with either additional bodies. So you have an extra player that can play in a variety of positions at the back. You have someone who can play in a variety of positions in the midfield. Same in the attack. So that gives you a squad of 25 players. And then basically you can have an unlimited amount of players under the age of 21. And then if you need more players, you have under 21 players and you embed them into the squad like that. That's how it should be done. But yet I'm having a conversation with you guys 5 games into a season, and we don't have 2 players in every position. Like, come on. Like, that is basic 101 recruitment. It is, and it sounds really harsh, but that is the honest truth. You shouldn't go into a season needing to sign players. And I wish the window finished before the season started. It'd be so much better. And then people would have to do business a lot quicker and be a lot more proactive. Just because you didn't go ahead doesn't mean Cardiff didn't outplay you. They most definitely did. How can Cardiff have outplayed us when we created more chances than them? That doesn't even make sense. That literally doesn't make sense. Cardiff didn't outplay Luton. You controlled the game. That isn't the definition of outplaying. Teams can control games of football with possession. It doesn't mean you're going to win the game. I think Man City controlled the game against Tottenham yesterday, yet Tottenham walked away with a 2-0 win. So possession means nothing in football. It's about taking your chances. Who took their chances? Cardiff did, in the right time in the second half. Luton should have been ahead before Cardiff even scored that goal. That is fact. The amount of chances we created. Yes, Cardiff created chances, but Keeley, our goalkeeper, made 2 saves. 3 shots at target was at him yesterday. One was a free kick, the other was from 45 yards away, and then the other was the goal. That's what Keeley did. The rest, we either blocked and it went out wide or it went over. That's what happened. So we made Cardiff keeper a lot more busier than our keeper. So that for me doesn't make sense. Cardiff didn't outplay us. Lewis, you commented saying you are a Cardiff fan. Great win for you guys. For you, wouldn't be too concerned. You'd be right there if it was a game of. Wait, I'll start this again. Lewis, who is a Cardiff fan, has gone, great win for us. Wouldn't be too concerned. You'd be right there. It was a game of two sides who are levels above the league. I do think we are two good sides, but unfortunately Luton, we're not acting like a good side. We are just scraping wins. Danny, you commented saying, Barnet game might be the best to try out the 4 at the back formation and new tactics. Potentially, but we can only do that if certain players are available. Mick, you've commented saying, with Walsh on the pitch, it was like Cardiff having 12 men. Yeah, the amount of times he was giving the ball away. Mark, you've commented saying the players didn't have the desire and commitment to win a game of football. I thought the same for most games last year and the same against Cardiff. Where's our passion, fight and hunger gone? And this falls down to the mentality. And if you guys were watching the videos before the season started, how many times did I bang on about the mentality? I said that's the only thing that's stopping these group of players is the mentality. They've got the quality. The quality is there. But it's not here. And you saw when the goal we conceded, their heads dropped. Confidence went. And how did we try and win that game after Cardiff scored their goal? Well, we didn't. We looked like we couldn't score a goal. We lacked the belief that we could go on to get the equaliser because we lost the confidence because we couldn't take the chances before Cardiff scored. That's the problem. It's mentally. It's always been a mentality problem. Luton fan number 1 has put, I agree with your points on formation and available players. However, the fact we are in the last week of August with an unfit Bramall as our only option at left back / left wing back is a failure of recruitment. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we should have gone into the season with one left wing back. And I was saying this when Alfie was just at the football club. We needed a left back because Alfie could get injured. And then who do you play there? And don't give me Joe Johnson because I don't even think he's ready for League One football. We needed 2 senior players at left wing back. Jonathan, you've commented saying, I've missed a comment. I hate it when my chat does this. Where is it gone? Where's your comment gone? Where's your comment gone? There you go. Right, Jonathan, you've put you need wing backs and wingers to do anything. You can't play out wide with no wide players. Exactly. Lewis, you've commented saying what was my thoughts on Cardiff? I thought they were a very good side, controlled. Really good at controlling possession. I think you struggle against when teams go physical against you. I think you've got more technical players that I don't think like the physical battle, especially from what I saw against Port Vale and also against us. When Luton did go physical against the Cardiff defence, you didn't like it. I know that's due to Cardiff having a much younger squad and the younger players not being used to the physical side of the league. But in terms of the flair, the technical ability, the passing range, you definitely are a very good side. And I put my hands up and say, actually, Cardiff, you are going to finish higher than Plymouth. From what I've seen, you're going to finish higher than Plymouth. I had Plymouth finishing higher than you guys before a ball was kicked this year. I had question marks over the boss, the new manager. Is it Barry Murphy? I didn't think he was anything special. I was told he was this highly rated coach, but I didn't really understand where that came from. Yes, he was at Man City for many years, but being a highly rated coach doesn't mean you're a fantastic manager. But in a short space of time, he's completely transformed the way Cardiff have played from last season, and he's doing a fantastic job. So I can't knock that. I can only, put my hands up and say I was wrong about Cardiff at the start of this year, and I think you're going to be right up there challenging. I don't know about top 2, personally. I think you might need a couple more additions, as you haven't really signed too many players in this summer window. But I think if you can bring in those couple of additions to the football club before the window ends, I think you then might have a chance of competing for the top 2. So it all depends on your last minute recruitment, what you do before the window closes. Jonathan, you commented saying, was your heart in your mouth when Robertson shot from the halfway line? I actually didn't think it was going in. And then I slowly started to see the ball starting dipping, and I was like, Keeley, get there, please. Keeley, get there. But then lucky he got there. I think with plenty of time. I think Robertson did that because he knew Keeley was off his line and how proactive Keeley is when he comes off his line. But yeah, it was a good attempt. Fair play to Robertson for even trying that. James, you put Cardiff fan here, and if you play like that against other teams, you'll be fine in this league. But all those attackers you have, you need one that can be clinical. Exactly, James. I think that for us, for Luton, was our best attacking display of the season so far. And if you do perform like that against other clubs, you most likely will score eventually, you like to think. But yeah, we've got a confidence issue when it comes to taking our chances. Jonathan, you've also commented saying your favourite goalkeeper, Horvath, had an awful debut at Sheffield Wednesday. If it wasn't for him, they would have likely have beaten Wrexham. Oh, mate, me and Ethan Horvath, not great mates, I have to be honest with you. But yeah, I did see that second goal, which Wrexham scored, and he's still the same keeper, isn't he? You know, bless him, he's trying. He is trying. George, you've commented saying, morning Lewis, hope you're okay. After yesterday wasn't the greatest. Walsh for me needed to come off, but hopefully that means Baptiste will come in the side on Saturday against Burton. My problem is, George, I don't think that solves the issue. That's what worries me. Tyler, you've put, how much more million do you reckon Luton will spend, if any? Don't know, Tyler. I really don't. If we're going to buy, I don't know if we're going to loan players in or buy them. This is the thing, I don't know what we're going to do. Because we're not even rumoured to be after any players. This is the thing, the rumours are even quiet. That's what worries me even more. We don't even have any rumours to talk about. I like to think we'll spend another million. We've got to spend money. If we go into the season with this current squad, I won't be happy. And you'll see me do a rant. You see the first real rant of the football season from me. You know, I've been holding a lot of anger in this summer. And with how we've started so far this season. But I will blow. I will lose it. When certain things can't be done and when certain things are not, being sorted, that are just the expectations, I will lose it. And I don't want to, but I've got to be honest. The amount of defending I've done over the summer and telling people, look, things are going to be okay. We're going to do what we should be doing this year and actually being positive. And I just feel like I'm being treated like a mug by some of these players and by the football club with certain football decisions that have been made over the last, 3 or 4 weeks. Darren, you put, sorry, just joined. Midfield looks very slow. Cardiff were all over us when we had the ball, whereas we just let them have the ball back at times. We lacked pace through the middle. The thing is, what we did, against Cardiff. So I don't know if you guys would have noticed this. So we pegged Cardiff back and we forced them to go long. So Clark, Nordos and Naki Wells, when they were pressing, they were forced, when they pressed effectively, they were forcing the Cardiff goalkeeper to go long. And then what would happen is we would win that battle. We would win that initial battle and then we would regain possession of the ball. But then what we were doing was we wasn't looking after it. However, when we then didn't get that press right, the first initial press, Cardiff were able to get around us and then play through our midfield. And that happened because the likes of Saville and Walsh and the defence wasn't pushing up, and the wing-backs as well. They weren't pushing up. And it was just 3 players pressing, and you can't allow that to happen. At times it worked, at times it didn't work. But in the first half, it did work quite a bit, where we forced the goalkeeper to go long. But in the second half, it didn't work. We wasn't pressing well enough as a team. You can't just press as individuals. You've got to press as a group of players. And we just didn't do that in the second half. And that's what let us down. If we carried on doing what we were doing in the first half, with actually pressing more as a team, we would have had a lot more success as we did in the first half. But as you would have noticed, the chances in the second were a lot less than the ones in the first. Jonathan, you commented saying Saville got lucky. Another ref could have sent him off for his challenge on Colwill. He looked very frustrated and just lunged in on him. Dangerous. Keeper also lucky he had a covering player. I don't know what you mean by Saville got lucky with the ref could have sent him off. I thought he got yellow carded. I thought that was just a normal yellow carded challenge. I didn't think anything more of it. Reese, who is a Cardiff fan, honestly, I thought you guys played well yesterday, created plenty of chances, should have scored at least 2 or 3. Doesn't help our keeper was on top form. Top 6 for you guys, I think. See, look, guys, we've had a couple of Cardiff fans in this chat that have said that we played well yesterday. I wish... And we did play well in our attack. There was just one bloody moment in the game and it let us, down. I say one moment, but there was a couple of moments in the game that let us down. But yeah, how many Cardiff fans need to tell us that we actually did all right yesterday and we could have scored 2 or 3 goals? Thank you for your comment, Reese. Matt, you've commented saying recruitment again has been subpar. We are caught in no man's land between having a squad suited to a back 3 and a back 4. We'll take another window or 2 to sort this. We need more players to leave, Matt. This is the problem. We need more players to go. Once we get these players leaving, we might have a chance at playing a certain consistent formation. But right now, we are caught in between 2 different styles of play, and we don't know what one to go for. But what doesn't help is we don't have a fit left back or a fit right back. You know, you can't play a back 4 without a fit right back or left back, and you can't play a wing back system without a fit left wing back and a fit right wing back. If only we sorted this problem before the season started, you know. It's not like we had a whole pre-season campaign. And then the same again, caught between 2 systems without a clear identity, midfield no urgency, and the same problem from last year. We can't take our chances. Exactly that. Martin, you've commented saying, looks like Fane and Woodrow are on their way out. I don't know about Fane, but I think Woodrow is. I don't think he was on the bench yesterday. Douglas, you've commented saying, but Wells didn't score yesterday, Lewis. In 5 league games, no Luton so-called striker has scored a goal. Yeah, but Douglas, Wells had 3 chances to score a goal. Nordas had 2 and Yates had 1. So they are having chances. That's up to them to score the goals, isn't it? Like how Matt Bloomfield has set us up in terms of the style to create chances. We've created chances. He can't put the ball in the back of the net. It's the players that have got to do it. Why are the players not putting the ball in the back of the net? Why do they need 3 or 4 chances to score a goal? You know, I think Willock, how many chances did Willock have? Let's actually have a quick look, actually, because I'd be interested to know how many chances he had. He had 1 shot on target and he scored it. That's what we do know for a fact. Let's have a quick look. How many shots did he have? So Willock. Okay, Willock had 2 shots, by the way. So Willock, who scored the goal, had 2 shots. He had 1 on target, which was the goal, and then he had another shot, but it was blocked. It was blocked by a defender. So there you go. So Willock, who isn't a natural... If we just quickly have a look at Willock, actually, in terms of his goals and how many goals he's scored in his career. So he scored 1 goal this year. He scored 2 goals last year. The season before, he scored 4. So he's not exactly a prolific and attacking player that scores loads of goals. He just took his chance in the right moment of the game. So this is what the players have got to do. And if I'm being honest with you, Naki Wells, out of our strikers, has done better than some of them because he's actually created 2 goals. He created the goal against Wimbledon and he created the goal against Peterborough. Dave, you commented saying Walsh had no idea, no awareness and gave the ball away constantly. No playmaking ability. That's the biggest problem. I think he had a bad day at the office. Normally he is a lot better than what he produced against Cardiff. 90 minute, you take a striker off and bring on a defender when you're chasing the game. Insanity. Yeah, I don't understand why he did that. I don't know if Nordas asked to come off because he did look shattered. But yeah, I didn't get the whole idea of bringing off Nordas. When you're 1-0 down, especially at home, that's when you change the formation. Even though we don't have the flipping players to play any other formation, you still change it to bring on more attacking players, more midfielders on the pitch in order to try and score a goal. That's what you definitely do. We should have done that against Bradford when we were 2-0 down away from home, and we should have done that at home against Cardiff. When you're losing a game, you don't commit to playing the same way, especially when you're not creating a chance within a 5-10 minute period. You've got to change something, and we just kept playing with 3 centre-backs, and that's when the formation does my head in. Because why are we, so consistent and so adamant in playing the same way? Edwards was the same. I think these young modern managers, they're all the same. They all do it. It doesn't matter what league it is. They all are so committed at playing a certain way. I don't get it. Show a bit of adaptability about yourself. Show a bit that you can change. But yeah, it's so rare to see. Tyler, you put, even when Bramall is fit, if he gets injured, we need another option for left back / left wing back. Yeah, we do. We need another one. Dave, you've commented saying at least it was an exciting game. Previous games have been a ball fest. Exactly. Jamie, you've commented saying morning Lewis, 400 mile round trip and 6 hours travelled. God, we can't finish. But to be fair, Trott played a blinder. Fair play to Cardiff. He kept them in the game. Yeah, exactly that. He was absolutely, on top form. Jonathan, you commented saying clear-cut chances. Luton 0, Cardiff 2. You had more shots, but none were that dangerous. What do you mean none were that dangerous? Like, the Cardiff City keeper made loads of saves. What do I think needs to change? We need to sign more players for a start. 2 big chances for Cardiff, 0 big chances for Luton. Cardiff also had a higher XG and more possession. That's what I call outplaying. That's not what you call outplaying. And also, your second big chance came in the game when we gave the ball away after you scored your first goal. So that Colwill chance actually would have made your XG a lot higher because that was a clear-cut opportunity. That was your big chance. And also, when you talk about big chances, it would have counted your goal as a big chance, by the way. So, stop reading FOTMob is what I basically would tell you. That is not what you call outplaying. You can't, no side can say, no one, in fact, this is the definition of it. You can't say you've outplayed an opposition if you didn't create more chances than them. You cannot say that. You can say you controlled elements of the game, which you did with more possession. I'm not denying that. But you can't say you outplayed Luton when you didn't, when you could have conceded 2 or 3 goals. And even your own fans in this chat, which we've had in the last 40 minutes, have also said Luton could have scored 2 or 3 goals. So I would just recommend learning the definition of what outplaying is, because you have got the wrong definition for sure. Alex, you've commented saying, where is your comment? I've lost it. Alex, you've said Bloomfield is a ticking time bomb. We might scrape a few wins now, but it's only a matter of time if he loses the dressing room and then he gets the sack. We ain't sacking him, Alex. We're just not. Look at what's available out there. We are not sacking him right now. It's the wrong time to get rid of a manager. You don't get rid of a manager now, and you're not going to get rid of a manager when they're 4 points off top. Until that gap keeps increasing and it gets even more bigger to the point where it's no longer catchable within a certain amount of games, you're not sacking Bloomfield. They're not going to do it. Whereas with Edwards, it was different. It was a 15, 20, 25 game period of just consistently performing rubbish and not progressing up the table at all. It wasn't just Walsh, Makosso stunk the place out. Yeah, I thought Makosso was very sloppy and very poor. In fact, I'm going to mention that in my 5 things which we learnt from the game against Cardiff. It was not great at all. We are currently bottom 4 in the league for quality of chances created. This is with the squad that is supposed to is meant to be too good for this division. Yeah, it needs to improve. We've been talking about in terms of attacking wise how it needs to improve for ages now. But the thing is, the way we attacked against Cardiff is the right step in the right direction. That's what we need to keep doing, and it needs to be basically that every game and also better. Cardiff's best player was their goalkeeper. Without his great stops, things would have been different, even though our strikers don't seem to know where the goals are. Exactly that. Cardiff had 2 best players, Trott and Ruben Colwill. Yeah, Colwill, when he's on it, is an unbelievable player. When he's not on it, that's when he can be a problem. Because he just doesn't get involved in games. But when he actually wants to be involved and show his quality and, wants to win the game for Cardiff, he's an unbelievable player. But with him, I think it's more of a mentality thing. When he's on it, he's on it. When he's not, he's really bad. G1K2, you've commented saying, sooner Chong and Brown get given a go, the better if we continue to struggle to score. The problem with that is I think Chong's going to play wing back, which I don't think is the correct decision. And Brown, it's just he constantly keeps getting injured, doesn't he? So I don't really trust Brown to even stay fit. Down on our right was a big hole. Our midfield was just too slow. Yes, it was very slow at times. Their keeper played the game of his career yesterday. I thought their keeper was great. Yeah, definitely man of the match, as lots of people have been saying. Brian, is it Brian Barry Murphy wants quality, not quantity. That's why only Trott has been signed in goal, and you can see his qualities in goal. Apparently, 3 more lined up this week before deadline day. That definitely would give Cardiff, the squad, a massive boost, and also the fans even more confidence that they could do something special this year. We have no real goal scorers mid-table. Well, we've got goal scorers, proven goal scorers at this level, but if they're not going to take their chances, I don't know what else to say. Apparently, a stat came out that Jerry Yates, last time he played in League One, and this was for Blackpool, he didn't score in his first 8 games, but once he got that goal, he went on a goal-scoring run and scored 20 goals. So, are we waiting 8 games for him to score a goal? I hope not. What do you think on the Chong call-up when he hasn't even played for us? Yeah, George, I'm not happy with Chong being called up for his country. I know there's nothing the club can do about this, by the way, but I definitely don't agree with it. When you're not even up to a certain level of fitness with your club, and you haven't even played a minute with your first team, and you've not even played pre-season and had a full campaign, how can you be called up like that? For me, it's just not right, and I do think they need to implement a rule in place, because this keeps happening recently, especially in recent years, where players are not even fit for club football, yet they get called up on an international level. They should have to, by requirement, in order to get called up for your country, you've got to pass a level of fitness for your club, and if you can't pass it, you can't go. That's what the level should be. It should not be player gets to dictate wherever he goes or not. It should not be like that. And of course he's going to go. It's his first call-up. And also, I don't know why they decided to call him up in League One when they could have called him up in the Championship and also in the Premier League, but they decided to wait until now. Feels very strange for me. And if Chong honestly thinks he could have got called up to the Netherlands, he's absolutely mad. That's my thoughts on that. Matt, you've commented saying we're bringing one more player. Max, manage your expectations, people. Squad is way too bloated and we need about 3 out before we can bring one in realistically. Yeah, regardless if we need to get players gone or not, we still need more players in because there's still holes in the team. This is the problem. Even with players, being injured, I still don't trust us with a fully fit squad that we can do certain things. In fact, how it comes across to me is we need certain players fit in order to play any style. And that you can't go into a season like that. You can't go into a season without these 3 players, Luton cannot function properly. That's not the way to run a football club. We have too many players who would be first choice out injured the same as the last 2 years. It's ridiculous, these injuries. I know it's part of football, but it's doing my head in. We are going to need a 2-week break to gel the new players and team together. Now Blackpool is called off. Might be a blessing in disguise with Blackpool being called off. I hope they are getting proper drilled in and, gelling, because it's just not good enough. It really ain't. Philip, you commented saying, can they pay off any unwanted players to make space to put things right? The thing is, Philip, I think that will cost a couple of £1 million due to them having Premier League wages. So I don't think you can do it. I think some might be on top Championship wages as well. So I'd rather they don't spend the money paying them off. I'd rather they spend the money on new bodies, if I'm being honest with you. Chris, you've commented saying Cardiff had 7 players that came through their academy. Luton have got great young players. Club vision is short-termed. Need to give them a run. Johnson technically is better than Bramwell. No. Johnson's not ready. I've watched him in pre-season and he struggled against Bournemouth. He ain't ready. And also, I want to remind people, our academy isn't that good. People need to get that. If they can't get into the first team, they're clearly not that good. We've got a couple of young players that might be able to break into the first team. But the whole academy as itself is not good enough. We are like a couple of years behind other clubs, unfortunately. Cardiff's players are ready. You can see what they're doing on the pitch. Our youngsters are just not ready. And when they go out on loan to these non-league sides and to these football league sides, they're not going on loan to clubs that are playing at a high level, are they? They're going on loan to a lower division. They're not staying at this level. So they're clearly not ready for League One football. And then when we're keeping an eye on them, like Harris, Luca, I think Luca's injured at Notts County. Ollie Lynch, for example, who's playing National League. Phillips is playing National League South for Torquay. You know, if these players are good enough, they need to be hitting the ground running on their loan deals. If they're not, doing well out on loan, then they can't be ready for first team football. Surely not. I don't know why we didn't give Harris the chance this year. He was superb in pre-season and he's a winger. He's more of a striker, Martin. But again, though, he isn't playing week in, week out for Tranmere, as I'm basically doing this live stream. Yes, he scored a goal for him, but he isn't playing every minute for him. So he hasn't even broken into their first team yet, and they're playing in League Two. Also, where's Richards? Another great option. Why is there all this? He's too young. Malarkey when Arsenal play a 15-year-old. But the difference is, though, when you saw that 15-year-old came onto the pitch against Leeds, did he look out of place? No. Difference is, when our youngsters come on, some of them look out of place. That's your difference. And that 15-year-old who played for Arsenal, what a debut. And also, he was playing for the under-18s at Arsenal level at 13. I don't hear a story like that at Luton. I don't hear any 13-year-olds playing for the under-18 side in our academy. Difference is, Arsenal, they've got flipping, top-level coaches, top-level facilities. It's easy to progress younger players. It's far easier to do it compared to us. Philip, you've commented saying, why play with so many defenders? In some games, our opponents don't play with anyone up front and they just sit behind the ball. That's when you've got to change it in game, Philip, and show a bit of tactical adaptability. Ryan, you commented saying, if one of those games where we played well and lost, their keeper won them the game. I also felt their keeper won them the game. I missed the comment. You don't think Callum Robinson doing a 6 yard, doing an air shot 6 yards isn't a big chance miss? Okay, mate. I can't even remember that Callum Robinson chance. That's how much of a big chance it was. I can't even remember it. Jonathan, you've commented saying the Cardiff keeper made more saves. Yes, but big chances versus clear-cut opportunities are the big opportunities. Willett's goal wasn't classed as one of the big chances. Either Robinson's from 6 yards out was. I don't even remember the Robinson's from 6 yards out. It wasn't even included on the highlights, I don't even think. And I watched the Sky one, which was like 4 minutes long. I didn't even see it. You probably won't remember the chance Robinson had early on in the box as he spooned it, but that's the one that was down as a clear-cut chance. I haven't seen that chance, and I really don't remember it. So I don't even think it was included on the Sky Sports highlights. I don't know. Actually, let's see if Luton have published the extended highlights, because if Luton have published the extended highlights, I'd be able to remember it. But I honestly do not remember Robinson having a clear-cut chance in the first half. So it'd be interesting what they actually deem as clear-cut. Extended highlights. No, they've not published the extended highlights on Luton's website, so I can't even check. Yeah, they've only shown the 2 minutes one, and it's. I'll double check the Sky one, but I don't think it was even included on the Sky highlights. So if it's not included on the Sky highlights, and that was 4 minutes long, then I don't. Can it be classed as that big of a chance? Surely. Luton v Cardiff. Don't really want to watch these highlights again because it's already painful. Right, how many minutes is the Cardiff one? Let's see what Cardiff. If Cardiff's one has it, then let's see what it has. I don't know if it's any different. Let's have a quick look. Right, skip the advert. See, even Cardiff's one's 2 minutes long. Oh, okay. See, right. I see. Now so it's included in Cardiff's one. Right, so they're classing this as a big chance. So they break through on the left. They play it in the middle. Colwell plays it to Robinson. He miskicks it, and so what they're classing as a big chance is Robinson miskicking the ball. That's what they're classing as a missed chance. So how... I'm sorry, but it doesn't lead to anything. It doesn't force a save out of a keeper. It literally is a miss kick. Okay, I don't know what to say to that, but if that's what Cardiff, some selected Cardiff fans want to use as a clear cut, then by all means. But he didn't even go anywhere. It didn't even go forward. It went back. If that's what you're going to use for your argument of Cardiff controlled the game, then I don't. Yeah, football's not for me. Football's just, I don't really know what to say to that. It's a chance, don't get me wrong, but it's not a clear cut, is it? Because it didn't lead to anything. Yeah, Ryan, how is it doing an air shot a big chance miss if he didn't touch the ball? Yeah, okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. That might be deemed as a big chance scenario because, realistically, he should have got that on target, but it didn't go anywhere. It didn't lead to anything. It didn't even force a save out of a keeper. Chris, you've commented saying Keely, Makosso, Nigel Longvike, Walters, Nelson, Fanny, Kadoa, Richards, Harris, Luca, foundations of a great team. It might have foundations of a great team, and some of them I do think are good enough to play football, but Harris, there's still a massive question mark about him. Nelson still hasn't broke through in the first team. The same with Fanny. Nigel Longvike looks good. Makosso looks good. Keely looks good. Walters, there's still a question mark on him. Kadoa, I think it's far too early. Richards hasn't had enough chances, and Luca needs to break through the team at Notts County and do a really good season in League Two. So if these players can get up to the level which we think they can, then it definitely has the foundation of potentially being a really good team. But right now, it's not at that level yet. Ryan, you've put he's just upset as Cardiff are the third biggest club in Wales. Okay, you started that, not me. Right, Dave, you put Chong has done nothing since he's arrived. Since he's arrived, bench at best. Chong as a wing back. I wish he was fit yesterday. Oh God, imagine Chong out as the wing back. It was a bigger chance than Luton had. Okay, you clearly don't get football then because we literally had a one-on-one chance which we put wide. So if that's a bigger chance than what we had, then okay. If that makes you go to sleep at night, then feel free. Luton's problem is there's no creating clear-cut chances. No, we struggled to create clear-cut, but we still created chances, though. That's the thing. And I still think that Naki Welsh chance, that should be classed as a big chance. How it's not classed as a big chance is ridiculous, because it is literally a one-on-one chance, essentially. He's been put through on goal. All he's got to do is put that on target and it goes in. So how that's not classed as a clear-cut, I don't know. See who decides what's a clear-cut and what's not a clear-cut. Because we've got a miss kick that's been classed as a clear cut, and then Naki Wells, who basically is clean through on goal, misses it. That's not deemed as a clear cut. So how does that make sense? What's the logistics in what's determined as a clear cut opportunity and what's not? That really doesn't make any sense. Jonathan, you've gone, Ryan, it went down as a big chance miss because he shot instead of missing the ball. It's likely goes in from the position, and even in League One, Cardiff's biggest club in Wales, that's a fact. Cardiff are the biggest club in Wales. I'm just going to put that out there. You lot can argue about who's bigger in Wales, but Cardiff are bigger. Ryan, it really wasn't Luton forced the keeper to save it many times. Predictive, missing Isaiah and Chong. Jonathan, shots on target are not down as big chances or clear-cut chances. You can shoot from anywhere. Clear-cut chances are in danger zone and bad if missed. Well, I would class that then, Naki Wells' chance, as a big chance missed because it was a clear cut to score at goal and it was in a danger zone. He was blimmin' 6 yards away from goal. So if that's not a clear-cut opportunity, I don't know what is. Too many centre-backs to keep happy, forcing Matt Bloomfield to play this formation. Won't drop certain players who are underperforming, including Naismith and Ali. To be fair, I thought Ali played well yesterday, despite being out of position. Naismith, I do agree, not performing well. And I do agree with too many centre-backs at the football club. And that's why Matt Bloomfield is forced to play this system. Would I start Yates? Not on current performances, I wouldn't, Danny. Martin, you've commented saying things could be a whole lot different in a week's time. Fingers crossed. Cardiff have put players in from their academy that previous managers wouldn't take a risk on. The current manager put his neck on the line playing and developing them. To be fair, Cardiff's manager has got, he's worked with younger players at Man City, so he's probably more inclined to want to work with younger players compared to like senior players, I would imagine. Philip, you commented saying, why do we have so many injuries? Is it club physio management? Well, Philip, if believe it or not, and this is actually proof like evidence actually, since Matt Bloomfield has become our manager, players returning back from injury has improved compared to what it was under Edwards, because players wouldn't actually return back from injury. But you need to notice it's the same players that keep getting injured. It's the same players. It's not different players. It's the same ones. Obviously, we have to treat each injury scenario different. Like, for Isaiah Jones to have a back problem, that's completely like, right, what can you do with that? That's just unexpected. It happens. Chong getting injured at the first day of pre-season, unlucky, hasn't been seen since. Hopefully gets better soon. Teden Menji got injured due to an impact injury. What can you do? The Southend player should have actually got sent off. That's how bad the tackle was. So I can't blame Teden Menji for being injured when it was an impact challenge. That's sometimes when it's impact, it's different to like just put in. Walters with a slight groin problem, that's frustrating because he's someone that keeps picking up injuries and he needs to stop. So he's the same one that keeps getting it. Brown's the same one that keeps getting injuries, even though that was impact actually against, I can't remember who it was. I think that was against Middlesbrough last year. How is he taking so long to get back, by the way? I just don't get it. Alex, you commented saying, what's your take on Chong not fit for us, but fit for the national side? I have mentioned this, Alex, but yeah, I think it's a joke. I think the club should have more control over players, whether or not they should go on international duty, especially when they are not fully fit at club level. There should be like some sort of like test they have to do at club level in order to go internationally. He hasn't even had a pre-season, so how he gets allowed to go to his country is ridiculous. But if he's available to go for his country, that means he must be fit for Burton. He must be. He must be available for Burton. If he's allowed to go to his country, he has to be available for Burton. Dave, you put, I think Nordas and Yates will come good. Baptiste in for Walsh until form picks up. 2-5-3 attacking with Clearcut leading the way as the playmaker. It will all be good. I can recognise we have some issues, but it's still so early on. I just don't see the point in the meltdowns occurring. The thing is, though, the reaction after the game yesterday, I think if you read social media, it definitely come across like, oh my God, we lost 3 or 4-0. But we didn't lose 3 or 4-0. Lewis, are you expecting many ins and outs this week? You can give us, can you give us any names? I can't really give you any names. I don't know who we should go for right now. But I hope we get some ins and I hope some outs go. We need to do something. We can't go a week not doing anything. And the window, I think it closes on the 2nd of September. I think I've got that correct. So 2nd of September. Wait, no. Deadline day. 2025. The 2025 summer transfer window will open again on Monday the 16th, deadline day, all the way to Monday the September the 1st. So we've got today, whole of next week, so that's 8 days plus the 1st. So we've got 9 days remaining to do business. We need to do we need to make some signings to get rid of some players. Jonathan, you've put big chances. Flash clear-cut chances, opportunities are down to as chances harder to miss than score. And Robertson went down every stat place. Had that Robertson chance down as one of the 2 big opportunities. Again, though, I would argue and say Naki Welsh's chance was harder to miss than score. Personally. So, even though he had an air shot and done nothing, the opportunity was still there. Again, if that's an opportunity, then the same goes for Naki Wells. So how can one be... If a miss kick's down as a big chance and then the other Naki Wells one isn't, then I don't get how... Personally, yeah, that for me doesn't make sense. And to be fair, there's a lot of football rules that don't make sense. Game is gone if they think that missed kick is a big chance. That's what I think personally. If a missed kick is a big chance, then I understand if he got full connection on the ball. Yes, it's deemed as a big chance, and it's deemed as he could have scored. But the fact that he didn't kick it properly, I just don't see how that can be deemed as a big chance when we missed a one-on-one chance pretty much. The amount of chances you make does not dictate quality of play. Cardiff were very good. Yeah, Cardiff were very good, but the amount of chances, we did create more chances though. How Chong be... I don't get why Chong got called up. I personally don't think that's right. Where would this group finish in the championship? Nowhere near the top half, in my opinion. Mate, this group will finish bottom of the championship. Forget the championship. It's not even going to finish top half of League One the way it's carrying on. 3 points is a must next week. Yeah, 3 points has to be. Apparently, Jacob Brown had surgery on his ankle in March. But still, how is it? Why are we towards the end of August and he's barely back training with the first team? One of the biggest games of the season. Cardiff retained the ball better until their injury. Luton had a window for 20 minutes, then Cardiff got back to their ways. Great game, could have gone either way. It definitely could. Right, I've been live streaming for an hour, guys. It's gone very quick, I have to be honest with you. Really active chat, so much appreciated. If we can... Oh, I've actually missed a few comments, actually. Oopsie. I thought Naki Wells was a clear cut personally, but I don't do the stats, and all stats companies had Luton down as 0, so they've seen something I didn't. Yeah, I personally don't get it. How one can be one and one couldn't be the other one. The amount of chance... is that the only one I missed, actually? Yeah, I think that is the only one I missed. Right. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone with the active chat. Much appreciated. It helps these live streams go quick as possible. My next live stream will be after the Burton game next week, so stay tuned to that game. Hopefully I'll be a lot happier and celebrating 3 points rather than being my current moody self, because I hate losing games of football. But yeah, big thank you for everyone who's tuned in. Please smash the like button. It does help the live stream perform on YouTube. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one, I think. Yeah. Actually, before I go, video coming out later today. 5 things which we learned from the game against Cardiff from a Luton's perspective. That will be out tomorrow. Video Monday. I'm going to be doing a League One review of this game week's results. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, you're going to see a few videos from myself on Luton related content. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. I'll figure out near the time. But yeah, stay tuned for all the content that's coming, and I'll see you all in the next one.